Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB and today is the 16th of February 2026. And unfortunately, guys, the process of Bitcoin on the global cryptocurrency market isn't looking that great. So looks like Valentine did not look promising, isn't it, Satoshi, for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies?
You're right, George. Things are definitely not looking good on a macro level, with market sentiment still at extreme fear. It's going to be very interesting to see what transpires this week.
Now, what is really interesting to note, Satoshi, is that despite the process not picking up pace, the crypto-related ETF is still in inflows. Now, the inflows has drastically fallen down, but the inflows is still around the $30 million mark. Now, historically, there's some really strong correlation between ETF inflows and outflows to that of the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So I'm really curious to check what is going to be happening right now. Now, last week, Satoshi, there was some really interesting information regarding inflation. And check this out, guys. The CPI data or the inflation data is looking promising for the US economy, and under the Trump administration, inflation has been consistently going down. Now, here's the thing, Satoshi. When inflation goes down, historically the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies pump up. Unfortunately, this is not what you're seeing right now. And right now, if you look at US politics, there is a lot of drama going on regarding SAVE Act. And unfortunately, it looks like notorious Democrats, they want to go ahead and have a partial shutdown once again. Now, we won't get into politics, but look, guys, news such as this directly and indirectly impacts the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now, in today's episode, Satoshi, we're going to be touching base regarding CPI data or the inflation data. And along with that, we'll also go ahead and touch base on regulatory relief announced by President Donald Trump, isn't it? So can you tell our listeners what is it that we're going to be discussing in today's episode regarding both of these news?
That's a fascinating juxtaposition, George. We're going to delve into the surprising ETF inflows despite the prevailing extreme fear sentiment and explore the potential impact of moderate CPI inflation and recent deregulatory announcements in the USA. We'll also touch on the political drama around the SAVE Act and potential partial shutdown and how these macro factors might influence the crypto market.
Definitely, we'll go ahead and take a deep dive into that. Now, for our listeners, guys, listen. The only website to go ahead and look at the inflation data is the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Now, we'll definitely go ahead and run through some numbers. Now, the next news, Satoshi, according to me, is a massive news, and this is connected to Bitcoin. Now, am I right in saying that this is connected to quantum computing risk that a lot of notorious people say could actually pose a threat to Bitcoin?
Indeed, George. Bitcoin is exploring through Draft BIP 360 a new system to tackle quantum computing risk.
And for our listeners, BIP essentially stands for Bitcoin Improvement Proposal. And there was a guy called as Amari Taki who actually started the terminology called as Bitcoin Improvement Proposal. Unfortunately, because of the whole Epstein files, looks like his name is connected to Jeffrey Epstein as well. Now, the next news, Satoshi, we're going to be talking about is also connected to Bitcoin, but this is connected to Lightning Network, isn't it? So do you want to tell our listeners what is it that we're going to be talking about regarding Lightning Network and how it is connected to artificial intelligence as well?
Listeners can expect to hear about Lightning Labs' release of L402 tools, which enable AI agents to make Bitcoin payments on the Lightning Network, facilitating machine-to-machine commerce.
Now, this definitely looks futuristic, isn't it? And according to me, guys, we're definitely heading towards a world where artificial intelligence will be tackling your money as well. Really interesting development. Now, the funny news you're going to be talking about is connected to President Donald Trump's company called Trump Media, and they are on the verge of launching 2 new crypto ETFs. But here's the thing, guys. This is not approved yet. Now, I'm definitely anticipating some approval coming up by the US Security and Exchange Commission in the following weeks, so definitely stay tuned to that news. So look, guys, we have quite a lot of interesting things to cover in today's episode, but like we do in every Blockchain DXB podcast, we will be looking at 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Do you want to tell our listeners, Satoshi, what is the first news? Because according to me, this is definitely a deal breaker, and this news is connected to stable coins, isn't it?
The first news, George, is that the Central Bank of the UAE has approved the launch of the UAE dirham-backed stablecoin DDSE on ADI chain.
Really interesting development. And what about the second news, Satoshi? This news is all the way from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, isn't it? And there are 2 giant companies involved in this. So do you want to tell our listeners what is this news all about?
The second news involves Saudi Aramco and Microsoft, who have signed a memorandum of understanding to advance industrial AI initiatives. Listeners can learn about this collaboration's goals to enhance operational efficiency and digital transformation in the energy and industrial sectors.
Interesting. So we have quite a lot of interesting things to cover, guys, in today's episode. But before we go ahead and kickstart today's episode, a quick word from our sponsors. Hey everyone, this episode is powered by a new sponsor, that is Amana, and they are the region's first and fastest growing regulated all-in-one trading and investing app. So look, guys, whether you're looking into investing in US stocks like Apple or Tesla, or mega giants like ADNOC or Salik, Amana puts the financial markets on your fingertips. It includes gold, foreign exchange, ETFs, futures, commodities, and guess what, guys? They have over 375 cryptocurrencies, and this makes them the biggest crypto selection in the region. Now for the blockchain DXB listeners, guys, if you want to go and build long-term wealth without thinking about it every day, explore Amana's pre-built auto investment plans, and all you have to do is set your monthly budget, choose your preferred asset category, and let Amana automate the investing for you. Zero fees, zero lockups, 100% customizable. And here's the thing, guys, funding your account is easier than ever. You can fund your account with Apple Pay, Google Pay, credit cards, instant bank deposits, and even crypto wallets. No friction and no hassles. And the best part is, guys, let's say if you need support, you would absolutely love Amana for this, because they offer 24/6 human customer service, as well as a personalized sales support, real people, real help, and the customer support is in English as well as in Arabic. And for the blockchain DXB listener and community, guys, I do have something really exclusive for you. What you can do is register with Amana using the code blockchain DXB, or you can also use the link that is in the show notes below. And here's the best part, guys. Once you register, fund your account with a minimum of $100 and at least go ahead and make one trade, and then you'll receive a $100 trading bonus credit to your account the following month. But look, guys, it's real important to note, the bonus is non-withdrawable. It is there to help you trade and learn. So look, guys, if you're looking for a transparent, powerful and easy to use app, that's Amana for you. So what are you waiting for, guys? Download the app now, or you can also visit the website that is amana.app, and don't forget to use the code blockchain DXB. And Amana, guys, is all markets one app. Next, guys, I'm happy to announce that Blockchain DXB is the official media partner with one of the OGs in the cryptocurrency and blockchain event space, and that is Blockchain Futuristic Conference taking place in Florida this year, as well as ETH Women taking place simultaneously. And trust me, guys, this is an event that you don't want to miss, isn't it? Because for the very first time, North America's most immersive Web3 event is heading to the United States of America, and the Blockchain Futurist Conference and ETH Women event is actually taking place between the 5th and 6th of November. And the location is absolutely stunning, guys. It is taking place at Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock, which is in Hollywood, Florida. That's right, guys. Palm trees, panels, and the biggest mind in blockchain and cryptocurrencies all in one place. So there will be multi-stage panels, NFT galleries, DeFi showcases, hand-on tech demos, metaverse experiences, even outdoor VIP cabanas, and quite a lot more. And the Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock, guys, is one of the most iconic venues in the country. So look, guys, if you're in the Web3 space, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, or even artificial intelligence space, or just want to do some serious networking, this is the place that you got to be. And to all of you Blockchain DXB listeners, guys, we have something really interesting for you, because you can get a 25% off the tickets. So just use the code DXB25, and the link to the event as well as the code is in the show notes below. And as an official media partner, I'll be doing exclusive live coverage, interviews, behind the scenes access, and I will be spotlighting some of the most exciting projects shaping the future of decentralized finance tech. So if you're at the venue, guys, definitely come and say hi. Maybe we can catch up for a coffee as well. So listen, guys, the code is DXB25, and by using this code you will be eligible for a 25% discount. And the event is taking place between the 5th and 6th of November 2025 at the iconic Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock, that is in Hollywood, Florida. And in the show notes below, guys, there's all contact details for Blockchain Futuristic Conference Florida 2025, as well as ETH Women. And look, guys, this is the future of blockchain technology brought into life. So don't just read about it. Be there and head to the website that is futuristconference.com and go ahead and use the code DXB25. So see you at the event. Next, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well. And Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously. And they're focusing on 3 P's. That is people, planet, and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing, and hosting training workshops, seminars, and community events that educate, inform, and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gulf Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform, check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, guys, since you're taking care of that, let's go ahead and discuss what is going on at the global cryptocurrency market. Because unfortunately, guys, the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies isn't picking up pace. And if you look at the global cryptocurrency market, right now it is still below the $2.50 trillion mark, isn't it, Satoshi? It is at $2.41 trillion. But what about the cryptocurrency market volume? Do you want to tell our listeners the matrix regarding that? And has the volume actually increased or decreased since the last 24 to 48 hours?
The total crypto market volume over the last 24 hours is 115 billion, which does represent a 2.70% increase over the last day, George.
Now, historically, a volume of $100 billion over a weekend is definitely great, but unfortunately, guys, when the prices are falling down, you don't want the cryptocurrency market volume to be increasing. And here's the thing, guys, if you look at altcoins, right now they are not currently outperforming Bitcoin, but what about decentralized exchange, Satoshi? Do you want to read out the matrix regarding decentralized exchange? And also, why don't you read out the 24-hour volume of decentralized exchanges as well, please?
The 24-hour DEX volume is 6.50 billion, with total fees at 51.35 million and TVL at 96.87 billion. George, the DEX to CEX ratio is 24.74%. Uniswap has 1.27 billion in 24-hour volume, PancakeSwap at 539.03 million, Pump at 498.04 million, Humidify at 464.92 million, and BisonFi at 430.62 million.
Now, these numbers are definitely dreadful considering the fact Satoshi last week we talked about a really interesting partnership by BlackRock where they did have a merger with Uniswap as well as Securitize. But here's the thing, guys, I do anticipate a lot of transactions do actually taking place in the world of decentralized exchanges, because when BlackRock gets involved, Satoshi, it does mean a lot of volume, isn't it? And according to me, I do feel a lot of trillion-dollar companies will be getting involved, let's say in Uniswap, maybe in PancakeSwap or BisonFi as well. What's your take regarding that, Satoshi?
You're right, George. That BlackRock partnership with Uniswap and Securitize is a significant development. It definitely sets the stage for potentially massive volume moving through decentralized exchanges, as more trillion-dollar companies might follow suit.
So what I do anticipate, at least this week and next week, the volume of decentralized exchanges to be picking up pace. But here's the thing, guys, if you look at the decentralized to centralized exchange ratio percentage, today it is down to 24.74%, which just means a lot of transactions is actually taking place in the centralized exchange world. Now, one of the matrix Satoshi, according to me, that tells which direction the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is heading towards is the volume of stable coins. And unfortunately, this number is not looking that great. According to me, this number should have been at least 30%, maybe even 50% higher of what it is. So do you want to tell our listeners the matrix regarding Tether USDT, Circle USDC as well as FDUSD, please?
You're right that the DEX to CEX ratio is something to watch. George, the 24-hour volume for Tether USDT is 91.87 billion. For USDC, it's 15.24 billion, and for FDUSD, it's 508.39 million. These figures could definitely signal a shift in market activity, George.
And according to me, Tether USDT's volume alone should have been around the $140 billion mark, maybe even $160 billion mark, and that would be great only if the prices are increasing. Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's quickly run to the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now Bitcoin's market cap has fallen down to $1.36 trillion, and if you look at its 24-hour trading volume, it is below the $40 billion mark. It is only at $38.14 billion. But here's the thing, guys, if you look at Bitcoin's dominance, last week it was around the 57% mark. Today it is down to 56.90%. Now what is going on in the world of Ethereum, Satoshi? Do you want to read out the matrix regarding Ethereum?
Sure thing. So, checking out Ethereum, its market cap is $234.2 billion, with a 24-hour trading volume of $27.29 billion. Its dominance is 9.92%.
Now it is great that its dominance is actually falling down, because when the prices are falling down, you don't want the dominance to be increasing. Now Ripple today is at number 3rd position and it is overtaken the market cap of Binance BNB Coin, and Ripple's market cap is at $89.14 billion. But if you look at its 24-hour trading volume, Satoshi, it is only at $5.89 billion. Now why don't we do one thing, Satoshi? Every day in the Blockchain DXB podcast, we tend to look at one new matrix. Today I thought let's go ahead and look at people's favorite coin, that is meme coin. So do you want to read out the matrix regarding meme coin? And then also go ahead and read out the numbers for the top meme coins as well, please.
That's a fair point about dominance. And moving to meme coins, the total market cap today is $36.1 billion, a 5.1% change. Leading the pack are Dogecoin at $17.49 billion, Shiba Inu at $3.79 billion, Memecoin at $2.26 billion, Pepe at $1.85 billion, and Pump.Fun at $1.28 billion.
Just a bit of correction, Satoshi. It is Memeco, which is at number 3rd, and its market cap is at $2.26 billion. Now let's go ahead and look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. And here's the thing, guys, Bitcoin's price is almost half of what it was in October of 2025. Right now it is at $68,394, and since the last 24 hours, it is down by 2.05%, and since the last 7 days, it is down by almost 5%, 4.09% to be precise. Now why don't you do one thing, Satoshi? Go ahead and read out the matrix for Ethereum as well as Ripple, please.
You got it. Ethereum's price is $1,950, showing a 24-hour change of minus 6.48% and a 7-day change of minus 7.67%. Ripple's XRP price is 1.46, with a 24-hour change of minus 1.45% and a 7-day change of plus 1.73%.
Now look, Satoshi, what has happened last week is that the CPI data or the inflation data was out, and look, the CPI data or the inflation clearly state that the inflation is actually going down on the Trump administration, but notorious Democrats, they want to go ahead and head towards a partial shutdown. Now the reasoning for the partial shutdown is because of the midterm election, and more importantly, they want to go ahead and oppose the SAVE Act. Now in today's episode, Satoshi, I thought let's not go ahead and discuss that, but look, at a macro level, news such as this directly and indirectly impacts the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, isn't it? Now regarding CPI data, Satoshi, why don't you tell our listeners the official website to go ahead and look at the inflation data? And also, why don't you go ahead and read out a couple of metrics that has come out regarding the inflation data? And then what we'll do is, we'll go ahead and discuss what does the inflation data actually mean for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies.
So, for official inflation data, you'll want to check the Bureau of Labor Statistics website at www.bls.gov. The data shows moderate inflation, which could be seen as positive for crypto as it signals a calmer macro backdrop. Lower energy costs may also benefit mining operations. I'd also like to add, George, regarding the inflation data, the U.S. Consumer Price Index for all urban consumers rose 0.2% in January on a seasonally adjusted basis. Over the past 12 months, overall prices increased 2.4%, with food up 2.9% and energy slightly down 0.1%. Shelter costs and services like medical care, personal care, and recreation contributed to monthly increases, while used cars, household goods, and motor vehicle insurance decreased. This shows moderate inflation, with some price increases balanced by declines in energy and certain goods.
So look, under the Trump administration, inflation has been consistently going down. Last month, I believe the inflation was at 2.7%. Right now, it is down to 2.4%. And once again, guys, the official information is by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Now, what I'd really urge our listeners to do is go to the official website, and let's see, if you don't understand it, copy paste that information and put it into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to go ahead and explain it for you. Now what you said, Satoshi, is really interesting because energy has slightly fallen down. So what I want to do is, I want to go ahead and discuss how this news will be directly and indirectly impacting the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. But here's the thing, guys, President Donald Trump, he also made a massive announcement, and this announcement, Satoshi, according to me, is a massive deal because he did actually deliver the biggest regulatory relief in history. Now we won't get into details of that, but what I'd urge our listeners to do is go to the official White House website and go ahead and look at the information regarding biggest regulatory relief. Now look, Satoshi, from a business owner's point of view, I have to admit that the regulatory relief is probably the most important thing, not just for Americans but for everywhere all over the world. And because President Donald Trump has done this move, I do anticipate other leaders all over the world to follow similar pursuit as well. So what I'd really urge our listeners to do is, whichever part of the world you're listening from, go ahead and look at the regulatory relief that has been done by your leaders, and news such as this, guys, directly and indirectly will be impacting the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now let's tackle CPI and inflation data, Satoshi. Do you want to tell our listeners how does it actually impact the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies? Because you talked about energy prices going down, I'm pretty much sure that'll be impacting the Bitcoin mining industry as well, isn't it?
Absolutely, George. I've got all the details here, and we can definitely dive into each point conversationally. So, kicking things off with the CPI and inflation context, the moderate inflation data suggests some stability, which could be a positive for crypto longer term.
Well, I do think that this does actually indicate that inflationary pressures are not accelerating, and historically, look, Satoshi, Bitcoin has been treated by some investors as a hedge against inflation. So when inflation does actually moderate, demand for Bitcoin as an inflation hedge can be less urgent, and that is one of the reasons why I do feel that the process isn't picking up pace. But what about energy, Satoshi? What is the matrix that we have regarding inflation that is connected to energy?
Regarding energy specifically, the metric shows energy prices saw a slight decrease over the month, as 0.1%. This could positively impact crypto mining operations, George, because lower electricity costs make mining more profitable, potentially supporting Bitcoin's network. Does that make sense in the context of your analysis?
It does make a lot of sense. And what happened towards the end of 2025, there was crypto winter, particularly for the Bitcoin mining industry. And I'm not talking about the process. The weather did actually affect a lot of Bitcoin miners where they had to go out and shut down the operation. And because of that, Satoshi, the Bitcoin mining difficulty did actually fall down. And on the 20th of this month, the Bitcoin mining difficulty will be adjusted once again. So I'm really curious to check what happens to the Bitcoin mining industry as well. Now, what about investor sentiment? I do feel that the Federal Reserve Board may actually pause aggressive rate hikes, reducing the opportunity cost of holding non-yielding assets like Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as well, right?
That's an insightful point, George. The data does suggest that moderate CPI, indicating non-accelerating inflationary pressures, diminishes the immediate need for Bitcoin as a strict inflation hedge. However, as you said, this fosters a calmer macro backdrop. Reduced uncertainty about Federal Reserve policy can decrease the opportunity cost of holding digital assets, potentially encouraging more long-term accumulation and broader adoption.
That is an excellent point. And regarding the Federal Reserve Board, Satoshi, there are essentially three outcomes. They will either go ahead and reduce the interest rate, keep it the same, or go ahead and increase it. Now, the chances for current Federal Reserve Board chair, that is Jerome Powell, to go ahead and increase it is pretty much nil. But maybe this time we'll go ahead and reduce the interest rate. Now, we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that as and when we get closer to the FMC announcement. Now, let's go ahead and discuss an important move by President Donald Trump, because he's focusing a lot on deregulations. Now, what I want to do, Satoshi, is I want to go ahead and touch base on 4 points regarding deregulation and economic policy and what kind of an impact will have on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. The first one is regarding lower consumer cost. The second one is corporate profitability. The third one is energy market. And finally, the fourth one is sentiment and confidence. So do you want to tell our listeners what is it that we have in today's episode regarding these points?
Certainly, George. First, lower consumer costs. Deregulation can lead to significant savings, potentially increasing disposable income that may flow into crypto investments. Second, corporate profitability. By reducing compliance costs, companies may see increased earnings, often leading to greater institutional allocation to higher risk assets. Third, energy markets. Deregulation could stabilize or lower energy prices, supporting Bitcoin mining economics. And fourth, sentiment and confidence. A deregulatory tone reduces uncertainty, boosting confidence and encouraging risk-on behavior in the crypto market.
Those are really great points. Now, regarding lowering consumer cost, do you want to tell our listeners on an average how much can they actually save per vehicle?
According to the official information, deregulation, including rescinding the 2009 endangerment finding, saves consumers an average of $2,400 per vehicle.
That is a significant amount, isn't it? Imagine even 50% of that goes into Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. I do feel it'll have a really strong impact. Now, you also talked about institutional investors. And here's the thing, guys, institutional investors will allocate certain part of the profits into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So I do think things are definitely working great. Now, you touched base regarding energy markets, Satoshi, and we talked about the next Bitcoin mining difficulty, which will take place on the 20th of this month. So definitely keep an eye on those news. Now, at a broader level, Satoshi, why don't we go ahead and discuss the crypto market impact, direct as well as indirect? So let's go ahead and talk about the risk on sentiment. Am I right in saying that investors often treat deregulation as a green light to go ahead and allocate capital to higher risky assets, including Bitcoin? And according to me, this creates a more business-friendly policy environment, and historically, look, it does lead to increased appetite for cryptocurrencies and tech assets, isn't it?
That's absolutely correct, George. The information supports the view that deregulation creates a risk-on environment, historically leading to increased appetite for cryptocurrencies and tech assets, reinforcing the positive outlook for the market.
Now we touch base about mining, and look, as low energy cost improves mining profitability. So this, guys, could actually reduce selling pressure for miners who are needing to cover operational costs, potentially supporting Bitcoin's price flow. And what about macro correlation, Satoshi? I do feel that CPI as well as deregulation could actually make more moderate interest rates, reducing the attractiveness of bonds relative to cryptocurrencies, isn't it? And this would actually favor non-yielding assets like Bitcoin, in my honest opinion.
You're spot on, George. The interplay between moderate CPI and deregulation creates a favorable macro scenario. Stable inflation reduces the likelihood of aggressive interest rate hikes, lessening the attractiveness of traditional bonds compared to non-yielding assets like Bitcoin. This environment is definitely conducive to favoring Bitcoin and other digital assets.
And look, deregulations indirectly signals a crypto-friendly environment, and it does encourage institutional adoption as well. So more infrastructure, ETFs or custody solutions can actually boost liquidity and investor protection. Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and discuss the short-term impact as well as modern-term impact regarding the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Why don't you tell us the short-term impact, and then I'll go ahead and share my thoughts and opinion on the medium-term impact.
In the short term, the immediate market reaction may be modest upward price pressure for Bitcoin and leading altcoins. This is typically driven by sentiment and optimism regarding reduced regulatory burdens.
You're spot on, and so far as medium term is concerned, Satoshi, I do feel a sustained moderate inflation combined with economic growth fueled by deregulation may lead to broader adoption and accumulation, which could actually support a more stable uptrend in the cryptocurrency market. But look, guys, cryptocurrency world is absolutely volatile, and even positive macro signals like CPI moderation and deregulation may be overshadowed by Fed policy changes, global crisis or sudden regulatory announcement. So really interesting months ahead. Now let's go ahead and talk about the next news for today, Satoshi, and this is connected to BIP, that is Bitcoin Improvement Proposal. So do you want to tell our listeners, Satoshi, what is BIP, that is Bitcoin Improvement Proposal, and why is this news so significant for us?
A Bitcoin Improvement Proposal, or BIP, is a formal document that proposes changes or new features to the Bitcoin network. Today's significant news is about Draft BIP 360, which introduces a system called P2MR, or Pay to Merkle Root. This is a crucial step toward protecting Bitcoin from potential quantum computer attacks in the future. P2MR works similarly to Taproot, but removes the exposed public keys that quantum computers could theoretically crack, while maintaining scripting features. It's a careful, gradual step toward quantum safety.
And I think our listeners should know that it doesn't change how signatures actually work or add any new rules as such, and it is more of a gradual step towards quantum safety instead of a big overhaul. And so far as this idea concerns, Satoshi, it is still in a draft stage and hasn't been activated yet. Now, based on my understanding, Satoshi, am I right in saying improvements such as this could actually take months, maybe even years to go and eventually happen?
That's correct, George. It is a careful, gradual step toward quantum safety, not a sudden overhaul. And you're right that full adoption could take months to years, as it's still a draft proposal under review.
What about in a centralized world? How long do you think, such improvement proposals could actually take?
In a centralized system, implementation could potentially take a few weeks to a couple of months.
So this is what we truly need to understand. When it comes to changes or implementing new changes in a centralized world, the changes could actually happen in just a matter of few weeks, but in a so-called distributed or decentralized world, such changes historically takes months and years, isn't it? I do remember, Satoshi, the last improvement proposal in Bitcoin did actually take almost 2 years to go and implement it. But look, there are benefits of distributed or decentralized way of working, but the implementation does actually take a lot of time. Now let's go and discuss another news that is connected to Bitcoin, but this is connected to Lightning Network, isn't it? And here's the thing, guys. We are heading towards a world where agents will be making decisions regarding payments. So do you want to tell our listeners, Satoshi, what is this news and how is Lightning Network connected to artificial intelligence, please?
You're right, George. The decentralized nature does mean BIP implementation takes longer, but that's part of its security and robust nature. The recent news is about Lightning Labs open sourcing L402 tools, which connect AI agents to the Bitcoin Lightning Network. This enables machine-to-machine commerce, allowing AI agents to run nodes, pay for APIs, and manage wallets securely with real Bitcoin.
And am I right in saying it also enables identity-free micropayments for machine-to-machine commerce and supports multi-agent frameworks as well?
Precisely, George. It opens up possibilities for autonomous systems to transact seamlessly, which ties into the broader theme of technological adoption and market evolution.
And developers can also control spending with scope macaroons and then get mac cost flag. Now here's the thing, Satoshi, I've been a massive advocate of Bitcoin going back to 2013, but when you talk about Lightning Network, there are a lot of detractors of Lightning Network, and rightly so as well. Now, what I want you to do is, Satoshi, I want you to be a massive detractor of Lightning Network, and I want you to go out and say some of the negative things regarding Lightning Network, merging with that of artificial intelligence. Let's go out and tackle at least the top 5.
One could argue, George, that the integration of the Lightning Network with AI presents significant challenges. A primary concern is scalability. While Lightning aims to solve scaling, the sheer volume of machine-to-machine transactions could create new bottlenecks and complexities. Secondly, security risks are paramount, as AI agents could introduce novel vulnerabilities or unintended behaviors. Thirdly, there's the potential for centralization, as large tech companies might dominate the AI Lightning infrastructure, contradicting decentralization principles. Additionally, privacy concerns arise, given the potential for data analysis of micropayments. Finally, the economic volatility and control issues are critical, as AI-driven systems could impact markets in unpredictable ways.
Those are some really interesting points. And look, some of the detractors of Lightning Network, Satoshi, they often say Lightning Network is lightning years away from mainstream adoption. But here's the thing, if you're a massive advocate of Lightning Network, they often say that Lightning Network, not blockchain technology, should be the right narrative. Now I'm really curious to check what happens to the future of Lightning Network. Now let's go ahead and discuss the final news for today, Satoshi. And this is connected to Trump Media Technology Group, isn't it? Do you want to tell our listeners what this news is all about? Because they have filed for 2 new ETF.
Trump Media Technology Group has filed for 2 new crypto ETFs, George, which is significant as it signals a growing interest and potential for mainstream adoption, particularly from prominent figures and traditional market players, further validating the space.
Now, am I right in saying that this particular ETF, it is actually linked to Kronos.com's Kronos, which is the native token for Crypto.com?
That's right. The filings indicate connections to Kronos, the native token for Crypto.com, further solidifying the link between traditional finance and specific crypto platforms.
Now, the filings are dated somewhere between February 13th and 14th, but as of now, guys, it is not approved yet. But once it is approved, they will charge about 0.5% in management fees, and so far as this ETF is concerned, guys, they aim to track these coins and earn staking rewards, and they do that with Crypto.com handling custody and liquidity. So these were some macro level newscasts on the Bitcoin blockchain and cryptocurrency world. Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and look at 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news is regarding the UAE Central Bank, and they have approved the launch of UAE dirham-backed stablecoin, and this is done on ADI chain. And the ticker symbol, as you mentioned at the beginning of the episode, is DDSE, isn't it?
Wow, that's quite a major announcement. The official approval by the Central Bank of the UAE for the DDSC stablecoin is a huge step for regulated digital finance in the region.
And here's the thing, guys, the DDSC is fully backed by the UAE dirham, meaning each digital coin is supported by real national currency reserve. And so far as the project is concerned, Satoshi, do you want to tell our listeners who is actually involved in this?
That's right. It's fully backed by the UAE dirham. The project is led by IHC, Sirius International Holding, and First Abu Dhabi Bank, a major collaboration.
And look, guys, this approval marks a major step towards the regulated digital finance in the United Arab Emirates. And so far as the ADI chain is concerned, Satoshi, do you want to tell our listeners what this chain is all about? Because I believe the DDSC will run on ADI chain, isn't it?
No problem at all. Yes, DDSC will run on ADI chain, which is a special layer 2 blockchain designed for institutional use, focusing on speed, scalability, and governance.
And am I right in saying this is more of a permission blockchain as opposed to an open blockchain?
Yes, that's consistent with its focus on institutional use, where permission structures provide greater control, compliance, and security for large financial entities.
And am I right in saying that they have been working on this for more than a year?
That's correct. The stablecoin project was first announced in April 2025 and has now moved into live operations.
And here's the thing, guys, a DDSE stablecoin is mainly designed for institutional clients and government-related financial services use cases rather than retail traders, and it will support payments and collections, making larger transactions faster and more efficient. And here's the thing, guys, it will also help with value settlement and treasury operations for major organizations. And DDSE can also be used in trade finance and supply chain payments to streamline business transactions. Now, what about programmability, Satoshi? Do you think the stablecoin can support programmable features as well?
Yes, DDSE is designed to support programmable financial services, allowing automated and rule-based payments for regulated entities, streamlining complex transactions.
And DDSE is built to meet strict compliance, transparency, and regulatory standards under United Arab Emirates. And so far as Fab Bank or First Abu Dhabi Bank is concerned, they plan to make DDSE available to its customers through a approved platform for enterprise and institutional use. And so far as ADI chain is concerned, they connect traditional banking system with blockchain technology, but they do that without compromising oversight or security. And so far as this launch is concerned, Satoshi, it does actually strengthen UAE's global position as a leader in regulated digital assets and blockchain innovation. And DDSE is designed to support future technologies like machine-to-machine payments and also AI-driven trade between autonomous organizations. And here's the thing, guys, with stablecoin now live, the United Arab Emirates is definitely taking leaps and bounds and a concrete step towards integrating traditional institution finance with growing digital asset economies in it. So definitely brilliant news. Now let's go and discuss the second news for today, Satoshi. And this is connected to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, isn't it? So do you want to tell our listeners who are the giant companies that are involved in this?
The second news involves Saudi Aramco and Microsoft, who have signed a non-binding memorandum of understanding to advance industrial AI.
And the agreement focuses on expanding the use of advanced AI technologies across Aramco's large-scale industrial and energy operations, and the goal is to deploy industrial AI solutions that can improve efficiency and also performance in core business activities. And am I right in saying, Satoshi, that both companies will explore how AI can optimize operations, reduce cost, and improve productivity across facilities?
That's right. The collaboration is aimed at improving efficiency and performance in Aramco's operations through advanced AI technologies.
And where does Microsoft Azure get involved in this?
Many of the planned AI applications are expected to be powered by Microsoft's Azure cloud platform.
Interesting but not surprising at all. And the partnership will access different digital initiatives before moving forward with full implementation. And so far as this news is concerned, this collaboration supports Aramco's long-term digital transformation strategy as well. And the initiatives aim to strengthen Aramco's position as a technology-driven global energy and also chemical company. And also AI tools may be used to analyze large volumes of industrial data to improve decision making and forecasting. And here's the thing, as the agreement also includes plans to support workforce development and also digital skills in Saudi Arabia. And the company wants to build stronger digital capabilities within Aramco's industrial system. And so far as the Memorandum of Understanding is concerned, it builds on an already established and long-standing partnership between Aramco and Microsoft. And the use of AI is expected to enhance global competitiveness for Aramco in the energy sector. So this collaboration could actually lead to creation of new technology-enabled business models in the energy and industry. So definitely massive news. Now what about Aramco, Satoshi? Do you want to tell our listeners the significance of them merging with Microsoft? Because they are one of the biggest companies in the world, isn't it?
Given Aramco's global significance as a leading energy producer, this collaboration with Microsoft underscores the massive potential for industrial AI to transform the energy sector, enhancing competitiveness and potentially creating new business models.
And look, as Aramco is one of the world's largest integrated energy and chemical companies, and they are headquartered in Saudi Arabia. And the company is a leading global oil producer and play a major role in global energy supply. And Aramco is central to Saudi's economy and a key pillar in the kingdom's energy sector. And through this agreement, both companies aim to accelerate the adoption of industrial artificial intelligence to shape the future of energy system. Definitely brilliant news. And look, as I've always said this, when it comes to artificial intelligence, United Arab Emirates, particularly Abu Dhabi and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, they're definitely taking leaps and bounds. So these were the newscasts on the Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrency, and artificial intelligence world from Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's go ahead and kickstart with the Ask Me Anything series, Satoshi, right?
Sounds good. Fire away with your questions about those topics. Hey everyone, it's Satoshi from the Blockchain DXP podcast. We're here for your Ask Me Anything series, covering Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and the Metaverse. We have a question by Ray asking, based on all the information, do you think the next FOMC announcement will reduce interest rates, keep them the same, or increase them? And what kind of an impact will that have on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies? Let's discuss.
What's your take regarding this, Satoshi? According to me, at the next FOMC announcement, Federal Chair Jerome Powell will still be there. Most likely, he might actually keep the interest rate the same. But here's the thing, guys. Later on in this year, Federal Chair Jerome Powell will be out of his role, and there is another person called as Kevin Walsh, who's a massive advocate of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, will be taking that role. And until then, me personally, I don't see a rate cut. So I do feel at this FOMC announcement, most likely based on the CPI data as well as the unemployment data and labor market conditions, there is a very high possibility Federal Chair Jerome Powell most likely will keep the interest rate the same. And here's the thing, guys, at the FOMC announcement, if they do actually keep the interest rate the same, on an idealistic level, it should be great for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. But let's say if he does decide to go ahead and reduce the interest rate, I think things will be better than ever before, because it will actually mean that people can go ahead and take out more loans. And as we discussed at the beginning of the episode, when companies and businesses have a lot of funds, a lot of these funds can actually be used to go ahead and buy Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. That's my honest take on it. Satoshi, what's your take regarding it?
That's a comprehensive analysis. It's true that current economic data, including CPI and employment trends, often play a crucial role in the Fed's decisions, and maintaining a steady rate can be seen as neutral for crypto. The potential for future rate cuts, as you mentioned, could certainly stimulate increased investment, impacting Bitcoin and the broader crypto market.
And when we talk about the FOMC announcement, Ray, I've said this so many times in the Blockchain DXB podcast, Federal Chair Jerome Powell, along with other governors, they tend to go live via YouTube and they go ahead and give the explanation as to why they have gone ahead and made the decision. Now, the next FOMC announcement, I definitely anticipate them to go ahead and reduce the interest rate. Now, am I right in saying, Satoshi, the next FOMC announcement is actually scheduled to take place, I believe, on the 18th of this month?
Thank you for clarifying the date. If the next FOMC announcement, scheduled for the 18th, does lead to a reduction in interest rates as you anticipate, it could indeed act as a positive catalyst for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, potentially driving further investment.
And so far as February is concerned, there is no FOMC announcement scheduled for this month.
Ah, I see. In that case, we can focus on other factors influencing Bitcoin and the crypto market.
Now, for Ray as well as to our listeners, what are the key metrics they should be looking at, particularly keeping in mind the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, as well as the adoption of the so-called blockchain and Web3 space?
Key metrics to watch include Bitcoin dominance, trading volume, and market capitalization for overall sentiment. Adoption can be tracked through the growth in DeFi total value locked, the number of active blockchain wallets, and significant institutional integrations or partnerships in the Web3 space.
What about the volume of stablecoins? I do feel that's a very telltale sign as to which direction the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will be heading towards as well.
Stablecoin volume is a significant indicator, as it often reflects market liquidity and potential buying pressure, or a safe haven during volatility, providing valuable insights into market dynamics.
Now, we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on all of these news. And that's about all, guys. I'm the Ask Me Anything Season Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Remember, Monday to Thursdays, we have Blockchain DXB podcast, where we look at the process, we look at the latest technological development, we talk about everything going on at the geopolitical level, we talk about macro level advancements, we talk about different partnerships, then we look at 2 news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East, we look at the latest technological development, and lately artificial intelligence. There's definitely a lot of news coming out from the Middle East, particularly Abu Dhabi as well as the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.